What's going on, everybody? Ron here with Get Phat Food. Another day, another mother truck and dollar. Today's a little different. Trying to get on the sensors here. Today's a little different. Today I'm reviewing my bike. It's been pretty much a year since I purchased this bike, this Honda Navi, and I'm at almost 5,000 miles. I'm at like 4,700. We'll just call it almost 5K. And I'm gonna take a little ride to the park here, so that way we can have a nice scenery while I talk about the bike. It's not really a good background there. Let's go chill by the buffaloes. I don't know what they're building here. Probably like a man-made lake or something. What the heck they at over there? They're like in their cages. Yeah, they're like right over there. All right, guys. So let's take a look. This is my 2022 Honda Navi with almost 5,000 miles. Okay. It's been a great bike. It still is a great bike, sorry. It is a great bike. Take a look there. This thing broke off. The front thing with the reflectors came off, so I just put some reflective tape on there. Make sure people can see me. All right, so let's do a quick walk around of the bike. And for those who are unfamiliar, this is a 2022 Honda Navi. It's probably the cheapest, it is the cheapest motorcycle that you can purchase from Honda in America, in the US. Let's see. So this is the back rack, the stock one. I bought this, but it's kind of useless, but it could work. Here's a gas tank. Just a little quick walk around. Here's the back brake, the rear brake. This does come with foot pegs. You can do 2-up riding on this bike. This is a stock halogen turn signals and lights front and rear. Drum brakes front and rear. Those kind of suck, but they work. All right, this is what everyone likes. This is the cubby. In here I just have my locks and tire pump and all that. This is your fuel petcock. So right now it's on. This is off. This is reserve. Put it back. Let's see what else. Okay, so these are your mirrors. These are aftermarket mirrors. Mine's broke during the stormy weather. I parked this thing outside and it fell over and pretty much broke the mirror. So went ahead and just got new mirrors. Pretty easy install. All right, so this is not a clutch. This is your parking brake. Pretty much it's just the rear brake. It's connected to that, but you just go like that. This locks it in, and then when you're ready to go, that's it. This is your choke. So choke down, choke off is up. Low beams, high beams, turn signals, push to cancel, horn. All right, right side here, there's your throttle, front brake, and this is only the front brake, it's not combined. When you press the rear brake, that's when it's combined with the front. But this is just front brake. Kill switch, starter, that's it, throttle. This is your ignition. There's off, on. I don't know if you guys could see, but that's my mileage. This is the fuel tank. It holds just about, I'm pretty full in there. This holds just about 0.9 of a gallon, so almost a gallon, but not quite. And let's see what else. There it is. There's a little key slot there for your seat. So in here, oh man, it's so dirty. You got a little toolkit. There's your battery. Your fuses are under here. Rear tail light. A little cubby for small stuff. And this just goes back. There you go. Just got to hear the click. There's the muffler. Big old thing. This is where you check your oil. There's the fan. Your carburetor is just under this flap here. Just so you guys can see. Not sure if you can. It's just under there. Okay, so let's talk about the fuel economy while I sit here. So this bike is great on fuel economy, depending what size you are. As a frame of reference, so you guys can see, I'm flat footing it with a big bend in my knees. This is a 30-inch seat height bike. This is how you turn it on. Make sure your kickstand is up. If you guys could see, I'm not sure you can. I have a little rust on there now. Make sure the ignition's on. Make sure the kill switch is on. Hold the brake and press the ignition. Now I will say this, because this bike is carbureted, you do have to warm it up when you first start it in the morning, or whenever you start riding for the first time of the day. You do got to warm it up for a couple minutes. They say you go down like this for 1 minute, then like a little bit up, like halfway, and then choke off for another minute. Then you can start riding. Let's see what else. So the fuel economy of this bike. Honda claims it does 100 miles per gallon. I don't think you can do 100 miles per gallon unless you're number one, you're super light, you're super skinny. Maybe you only weigh like 100 pounds or something. And if you go really slow. I think you can hit 90. I think you can do, let's see, 90. I do about 70 to 80 miles per gallon. I fill up after about 60 miles ish. I never really used the reserve. I've only used it once or twice the whole time. I'm pretty good about, this thing comes with a fuel gauge, which is amazing. Fuel gauge. So, talked about fuel economy. It's great. It's not as good as they say, but it's great. How's the suspension? Okay, so here's a frame of reference. I'm about 250 pounds and I'm about 5'10", and I've got like a 31 inch inseam, and I fit pretty good on this bike. So yeah, this bike is great for beginners. It's probably one of the best beginner bikes you can get. It is a scooter, so it's not, you know, like a traditional motorcycle where you got to shift and stuff, but it does give you a feel of the road and how to ride without having to worry about how to shift. For me, because I live in a big city, shifting kind of sucks. I used to have a Ninja 650 that I rode around the city. I kind of hated it because I always had to shift. So basically, this is a scooter that's shaped like a motorcycle, or shaped like a Grom. So it's like a Grom. It's like a Grom and a Ruckus had a baby, which is this. So I believe in my mind, this is one of the most ultimate city commuters, urban environment commuters that you can get, and you don't have to shift. And it does come with that little cubby too, so you can run errands on this. And the sizing of this is great. It's pretty much like a Grom. It's very, very similar to a Honda Grom. I think this might be, the Navi might just be just a little bit, like an inch or two longer. But the seat height is pretty much the same. It's about 30 inches. And yeah, very similar sizing to a Grom. So if you like the Honda Grom, but you don't like to shift, this is probably this is probably the bike for you. All right, guys, let's talk about power. I got plenty of videos. Look at my catalog of me riding this around doing food delivery. So the power of this bike is sufficient. It's enough. It's just enough stock wise. I haven't done anything to this bike. It's all stock. It's sufficient. It's fine. It's just enough. On the crazy steep hills, it does have a hard time, mainly probably because I'm a fat guy, but it'll do it. It'll get up there about 20 miles an hour. Yeah, it's fine. This can go up to about safely 45. Sometimes 50 miles an hour, maybe if you're going downhill, or maybe if you're super skinny. I would say the best way to put it is it has the power. It's like a Ruckus, but more oomph. That's pretty much it. So this is a 110cc, 109cc, and a Ruckus is a 49cc. But this has just enough oomph in it that you can go about 45, maybe 50. So a lot of people ask, do you need a license to drive this? The answer is depends on your state, but pretty much anything above 50cc, I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter what state you're in the United States, you're gonna have to get a license. So if you had like a Ruckus, you might not have to get a license depending on the state. Here in California, you do have to get a license no matter what, motorcycle license. Okay, another thing to talk about are the brakes. The brakes kind of suck, and that's because they're drum brakes. So they're not the best kind of brakes. They're definitely old school, you know. Very few vehicles nowadays still have drum brakes. Doesn't hurt that it's also very cheap. It's an $1,800 MSRP. You are pretty sure gonna pay more than that, but I've seen the range go from as cheap as $2,400 all the way up to $3,500. So it just depends where you are. For me in San Francisco, I paid about $3 grand. Oh, so from my last review video of 1,000 miles, which was 1 year ago, the aftermarket for this bike has grown a little bit. So there are some stuff you could buy for this Navi, Honda Navi. All right, back to where we were. So a couple things have happened to this bike since I've had it. First off, it has fallen over in the wind, and I'm talking about like 30 mile to 30 to 50 mile an hour winds here in San Francisco when it was stormy. It has fallen over like a couple times. I have crashed on it. Check out an earlier video explaining it, but it was my fault. I didn't get hit by anybody. I actually fell because of the back tire, the rear tire, snagging onto the railroad tracks, the train tracks, and so I fell over from that. It kind of bent this foot peg, this one. If you can see, it's kind of bent. I've just gotten used to it. I mean, it's not budging or anything. Also, the fork right here, it did bend a little bit. So for it to go straight, I don't know if you can see, it's just a little, like just a few degrees off. But I figure I'll live with it. It's fine. I will say the tires on this bike, if you want to get stock sizes, is kind of hard to find. It's very hard to find these tires. I don't know why. Why would you make a bike if the tires can't be easily be accessible? But yes, the tires are hard to find. All right, so overall, you guys, this is a great bike, especially if you're in an urban environment. Obviously you don't have to be in a urban environment, but this does only go up to about 45-50. So far it seems really reliable as long as you keep up with your maintenance. It's a very simple, very cheap motorcycle, or it's not really a motorcycle, scooter. Call it either or. If you want to get into motorcycling, this is probably, and you've never ridden a bike before, this might be a really good starter bike. I really love this bike, and I'm planning to keep it until I hit about 20,000 miles, or I hope it can reach 20,000 miles without something major breaking. It's not intimidating at all. It's light. I think this bike only weighs about, actually I think I weigh more than the bike does. I think it only weighs like 230 pounds or something. So again, great bike, you guys. If you guys like this kind of content, consider subscribing, smash the like button. And before I let you go, let me do like a acceleration run for you. That guy's selling fruits. All right, here we go. All the way pinned down. 25, 30, 35. Almost 40. Oh, one thing I want to add is because the brakes are kind of iffy, you gotta plan ahead before you stop. So just FYI. So anyways, you guys, thanks for joining me on this review video. The Honda Navi definitely has its pros and cons. You just got to really make sure you know what situation you're in, what kind of city you're in, and you know, if you're going to be able to flourish. Like if you're in like a more high-speed spread out town with like 50-mile-an-hour speed limits, this might not be the best bike. It's a pit bike, you know, it doesn't go very fast. But if you're in like a urban city, perfect bike. And again, I do deliveries on this bike, so you can use it to commute to work, you can run errands, the little cubby there, you can go shop for 6-pack of beer, whatever you want, you know. But anyways, you guys, thanks again for watching. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to check out my affiliate links in the description below. I have my setup in there. And have a good one. Stay hungry. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.